So, firstly, my apologies. I was the second one to go if you see the schedule. Obviously, customer service flights, so some delays, oncoming flights not coming on time, no communication appropriately done. So you're waiting at the airport and then you 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So I was just thinking aloud, the best customer service experience is what I'm going through in the morning. And thanks, Charmaine, for accommodating me at a later stage. See, I can relate to what Anand just communicated to us. About 21 years I have been in telecom. How markets are data hungry. You go to any nook and corner, people, my larger time has been spent with Idea, then probably a few years with now Vodafone Idea, and with Airtel. But any market we would go, we say 4G kab aa raha hai. Now, as if 4G is going to change their life, it's a different debate. But that's how people are technology and data driven. Reliance came, Jio came, changed the entire landscape of how data is looked at. And that is what I call as consumer understanding. How people used to make products on voice, and how do you change the paradigm by saying data is a product, voice is the byproduct. And the entire industry welcomed them with open hands. And right now they are the number one, the fastest, who have picked up. And probably they destroyed 2-3 companies also, their balance sheets and everything. So coming back to the point, and I'm sure most of the people sitting here are from the CX or customer service industry. So a lot of people would be saying one of the things that I am there as a part of the role is that I am here to give enhance customer experience and delight, super delight. These are common words which we use saying that this is my role, and in our appraisals also we do end up writing customer delight factor or customer service satisfaction scores. But let me ask a simple question. How many of you believe that we are able to delight the customer? Is really delight a measurable parameter? How do we do this? How do we really go back on the table and say, yes, I have given an enhanced experience? And delight is, I personally feel so, and this is out of all the little bit work that we have done in the market. Delight is only once. It's that first time that you give. After that, if you do not meet up that delight, you're gone. So don't delight the customer if you can't manage it. Don't do that. It's very important, because a lot of us end up feeling that customer service में हूँ और अभी तो एक experience X हो गया है, so I have to add that X factor in the ground. I will delight the customer, but that doesn't happen. Your thinking, and that is what I was trying to understand, that what we think in the boardrooms or at our rooms, really on the ground, does that get executed or well? When we say that I have implemented a process, how many times do we go and check that process really works with that customer or not? So that's why some very difficult point which was given by Charmaine to me, saying that, boss, customer service head ka role define karo. So I had to go back, start, because in the journey which we have traveled for such a long time, that one piece which we have started, getting too much, missing is this AIs and chatbots and, how do we become more and more intelligent handling the customer? But first we will need to understand where my customer is. And then obviously all these layers are important. Where does artificial intelligence interact with you? Where does an actual executive or a human body, starts interacting with you? Are clear demarcations which somewhere over a period of time with a lot of technology coming in, are slightly getting questionable. And that's where we'll need to go and that's why this is important. Do I get my, when I handle a customer service vertical, is that I am doing the job right? What I am being paid by the company? I can talk a lot of English, which mostly my managing director will not understand. CFO will just not understand. It's because he's not interested in customer satisfaction at times. He's mostly interested in to see, boss, what do you bring at the bottom? Whether the bottom line gets me there or not. आप कुछ अच्छा बात करोगे जिससे पैसा आने वाला है, he's very happy. So important for all of us to understand where do we stand right now. So one of the things which, one of the things which I understand and say that how do I create value which the customer is able to relate to and with my brand. Because for the same product, say for an example, now that I'm into a cable industry, you will go across, you will find a Tata Sky, you would find a Den, you will find an Hathway, you will find 7-star, and there are enough in the market. Now you go to talk about a broadband industry, then again it is cluttered with a lot of set of people. How do I make the customer choose me? Is an important part. First time choosing, the customer may do that because he's got some real financial good benefit out of it. But how does he keep on sticking with me? Even if there are certain lucrative offers which keep on coming. And I'm telling you, this is one of the toughest market that India is going through right now. You have started giving choices to the customer by n number of things. And as we were debating, the internet, is so Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, groups are so much there that people know almost everything about your product in and out. There are, if they go to your customers, if your official website, they will know how many disgruntled customers are there. There is no rocket science for knowing how the brand stands for. Go to their website, go to their Instagram page, go to their Facebook page, you will find out how many customers have lined up complaints at that place. And it's important for all of us to understand that getting customer inputs now is not going to be difficult. Because customer now is very vocal. You don't have to do a lot of VOC. You just have to listen to what he's saying. A lot of people do, मैं CSAT करता है, मेरा CSAT score, is so and so, and but that's not the point. You don't need to do CSAT. Customer is talking to you day in, day out. If you are a industry which is linked with the customer, if you are linked with a B2B kind of a market, probably you will not know. So, how does pardon me, I will go a little bit offbeat and somebody was saying some Gyan sessions will be there. Pardon me for that, but I'll take you very quickly through it. So I'll just take you through one a very beautiful example, which is how a customer service. So I was just, when I had this example of my airline in the morning, but I have a beautiful example of another airline, which is Indigo, and I am very happy to talk about that brand because at one point of time, they were very, very focused on getting their planes starting on time, landing on time. That were their USP. And they, at first point of time when they started against with Jet, they were a budget kind of an airline. There were no frills. You would hardly get any, breakfast or something. I don't know whether you would have seen. They would be just taking you on time, landing you on time. That's the key which they had picked up. Over a period of time, then they started this, pantry services which is there. And because we being a part of corporate, our breakfast or any meal is booked along with them. But by the time they reach you, you are probably on the 9th or the 21st seat or the 22nd seat or so. Most of the things are probably gone off. And your pre-booked meal, you have left with only few choices. You're saying, sir, हमारे पास अभी खाली काजू है या बादाम है, ले लीजिए सर, यही है. और कोल्ड ड्रिंक में क्या सर, पानी है अभी. That kind of a situation. So fortunately, I had a friend who works with Indigo. He told me, why don't you put it on the website? I put it on the website. I wrote to a few of them. I said, if there are executives which are already paying you in advance. Why do they have to suffer? Are you listening to your customer? And at that point of time, I did not get a response, but over a few months, I got a response saying that, sir, we are starting something which is called pre-book services. You pre-book. First, it will come to you. Even if it is a part of the menu, not part of the menu, or not part of the standard menu, we will get those things up. And it took quite a bit of time to get that right for them. It was not still working fine. They didn't get it right. But they were listening to people, the other part. So, again, the larger point I am talking about is that when you listen to customers, now if you see in most of Akasha or any other website which you go, they have pre-book bills. You can have a laundry list of things, you book, and that is available, and that comes to you. Whether you know, you are on the 9th row or the 21st row, they will come and tell you, sir, your pre-book bill is available. It's not a problem. So one of the things I was just trying to understand is that how does really a customer service organization look like? Sorry. Is obviously the topmost is what we are saying, that is voice of customer. You know, until unless you don't listen to what your customer says, it doesn't make sense at all for you to be a customer service organization. People are the ones who deliver things for you. So how many bots or anything you bring in, it's the people who are going to make the difference. If we were having this conference and if you are not there, I'm sure your organizations would have sent some AIs here. That's not what they are doing. Nah? They're sending all people here. Why? It's because the people are the ones who are going to make the difference for that. Customer management infrastructure, we're saying, which is how do you really manage the customer, whether you do it digital, you do it physical, how is that you are doing? And one of the most important part somebody picked up, I think, how good is your CRM? How informative is your CRM? Until unless your CRM does not talk too many things to your agent or to the front end guy, it is just, it's just a piece of technology. Let me be honest. It has got some customer name, it has got some customer address, it's got some phone number, but it has no intelligence at all. It doesn't make sense. And it's important, how are you integrating your CRM and how much information you are able to provide to the front end for them to execute their job well. See, please don't expect a 15 or a 20,000 rupee boy or a 25,000, okay, now your skills have gone up, to apply his mind. And my another debate which we keep on doing, EQ. Let me be honest, my personal experience is EQ cannot be made. EQ cannot be taught. EQ is part of you. If it is there, you can show it. If it is not there, you can't cultivate in people. It's impossible. I have tried for donkey's years working on people saying that boss thoda emotional ho ja. नहीं होता. उसको गुस्सा आता है तो उसको गुस्सा आता है. कस्टमर गाली देता है सामने, वो भी सामने, and obviously. So let's, yes, he has got high EQ, but on the wrong side. But that is where we need to understand that how is your selection process at the organization? How do you pick up people? How are you able to analyze those areas where you are able to assess whether they, and mind you, I've tried too many tools to measure EQ. I don't know, I will just talk to some people further here if they can help me. Get me a tool to measure EQ. He feels as if he's got disconnected from the world. The biggest crime you have done is to, मतलब आपने उससे कुछ छीन लिया, जायदाद छीन ली है. He is not able to connect, and we can see calls. There are medical issues now which we can find out. There are anxiety tantrums which they show on the ground. I'm expecting a mail, I'm expecting a call. International call only happens on WhatsApp. फिर मैं बोला भाई साहब आपका ब्रॉडबैंड तो मोबाइल वाला तो चल रहा है, वो क्यों यूज करूं जब मैंने वाईफाई का पैसा दिया है? Now, these are some of the things which is very, very difficult to handle. And then you ask the boy to show EQ. बस वो नहीं शो करेगा, वो गाली खाता रहेगा. Then after he gets a break, he goes into and breaks something. So customer service organization, in my mind, is a mix of all these things. Sorry, some gyans in there, please pardon me for that. Some underlying principles. As I said, don't complicate for customer. इधर जाओ, ये प्रेस करो, वो दबाओ, ये मेरा ऐप है, उसमें ये वाले पेज में कुछ आपको मिलेगा, अंदर 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 फाइनर लाइंस में कुछ लिखा होगा. जैसे क्लासिक एग्जांपल, आई एम श्योर इट इज अ फाइनर लाइन रिटन विच यू वुड हैव नेवर रेड इट, है ना, कि मैं आई कांट गिफ्ट इट टू एनीबडी माय लैपटॉप. अरे भाई लैपटॉप है, if I will not gift it, मतलब I can't have 5 laptops with me, and if I can't gift it, what has insurance to do with gift? Actually. And these are some of the things which we will need to keep it, we will need to understand. कितना simple हम कर सकते हैं customer के साथ. 1 click से काम होता है तो 2 click नहीं जानी चाहिए. Can we do that? If it is in our app, if it is on our website, if things can happen in one go, he can select at one go. Don't make him do 2 things. Okay. Again, delight मत दो, consistency दो. Why Indigo earned their name is because every time they start on time, they will tell you that I'm starting on time. And when they land, they will tell you, and they use this word, Indigo Standard Time. They have coined that word for themselves. Is where people started trusting them. So many ups and downs of so many, airline industry which we are seeing as of now. Go Air is a recent example of it. Go first. Sorry. Why? Why? It's because somewhere you have not managed your customer expectations well, and obviously other things also. But important, a lot of our airlines have gone. Kingfisher, they tried to create, Kingfisher wanted to probably give you a royal experience in the flight. But did it really help? You all know where did it land up to. Okay, so rather than giving delight, I would certainly say, please be consistent in your services. Every time a customer knows, I'm just taking an example who are on social media, or who are managing social media complaint sales of your. Ensure that please respond to the customer within that stipulated time. The customer should know कि मैं अगर कोई भी social media पे जाऊँगा, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever is your standard time, there will be a response which will come. They will ask for DM, and then probably start connecting with me. Then you start building that trust in the customer. Until unless you are not consistent, trust doesn't come. What does Tata do? Why people trust Tata? Is because they believe, say, that we deliver quality. And they actually live that part. Everything which we will try to do will have a certain level of quality benchmarks. And that is why, people trust that brand. And that is why a lot of times when most trusted brand का जब होता है, Tata really fares well. Okay. That is how, once you do that, then you become a customer preferred brand. Because customer knows known devil is better than unknown. Very clear. किसी और में मैं घुसूं, I will go into some different experience, and obviously if that is involved with the entire family, they will not like to go. अगर मेरा खुद का experience है, I might try something new. But if there is something which is to do with family, why is Skoda only now focused on one advertisement? It says the safest car in India. Why is it doing that? Just think over it. It is trying to put up one place where he's saying that I take care of your family. कभी कल उठ के accident, रोज कोई accident थोड़ी करता है. पर जब accident होगा, I am the safest in the entire country. My car is the safest. And that is what we need to learn from brands, what they actually position themselves so that they get a larger preference on the ground. And the last part, how do you manage management? Moment of truth. जब कस्टमर पागल हो रहा है आपके ऊपर, तब आप कैसे मैनेज करते हो उसको? आप उस वक्त कस्टमर को ज्ञान नहीं देते थे, सर प्लीज लुक एट दिस फाइनर पॉइंट, that you cannot gift it to your son. Boss will go mad.
Thank you for telling me yesterday.
Because that was a moment of truth for you. It just got screwed up. Why? Is because at that point of time, customer is not wanting to hear your terms and conditions. And most of your terms and conditions are written in fine prints which cannot be read. A lot of people do that. But then they get quoted is a wrong thing. How do we ensure that we don't get into that trap? And it's our customer service head's job. Those finer prints are not so fine that it cannot be, it can be misutilized by people on the ground. And that's one of the largest job of the customer service heads. That do not let marketing, sales or anybody add some points. Just because finance head also thought, ये यार ऐसा करेंगे तो रुपया जाएगा. नहीं boss. Okay. Now a lot of people say, चलो ये तो सब बात हो गई, पर मेरा कंपनी में रोल क्या होना चाहिए ideally? Let me simplify some of those parts. Obviously, how is that I am driving technology and infrastructure on the ground? First role. How am I able to bring the customer voice is the second role. How do I create a larger set of governance? Very important. है ना? मैं एक बहुत अच्छा आइडिया लेके आ सकता हूँ. But how is it getting implemented on the ground? Really, is it delivering it for the customer or not? Idea, until and unless not implemented well, is a bad idea. So you come up with a lot of ideas, but please ensure how is it getting delivered at the end of the end customer is important. And the last is, how do you manage your managers and your team? Because they are the ones who are your leg, arms. You know, take you very simple. Before I take you to, and somebody mentioned processes or something. So I just wanted to give one story which is there, which is a epitome of process. So about 200 years back, there used to be a mandir, and there used to be a Swamiji managing that mandir, Harti, Puja, all those rituals in the entire day. Once what happens, there was a little kitten which probably had lost his mother, so came astray in the mandir, and obviously in mandir you have all this some offerings, so obviously there was some food which was available. So the kitten got a little, and the Swamiji also got a little attached with the kitten, and both of them became almost friends, and the kitten became a cat. But as you know that when puja is offered in the Garbhagriha, you cannot allow animals. So every time he would go into to do the puja, they would tie to one of the pillar the kitten, so that he does not keep on wriggling around the Swamiji's dhoti. So, and in the Garbhagriha he is not supposed to be entering also. So all the villagers kept on saying this, that every time there is a puja happening, the cat is being put up, and the Swamiji was quite old, so he passed away. A new Swamiji came, but the cat used to be always tied to the pillar whenever the puja started. Now the cat died, so another cat was bought, because it's a process that every time that arti happens, a cat has to be caught and tied. So important for all of us to understand that are we labors to our processes which we make, or the processes are supposed to be therefore understood? Do we question processes? I'm sure a lot of people have come into the organizations which there is some legacy. There is nothing like legacy not being there. You'll come, somebody was there before you, somebody else was there before you. There is a underlying process which was going all across but please, my suggestion is, my request is, please question. And that's one of the roles which you will have to get into. Please keep on questioning, why are you doing this? Is it really helping the customer? Until unless, because most of the boys in your team will be trained like soldiers. They are supposed to follow the process. और उसको सवाल पूछेगा तो उसका साहब बोलेगा सवाल नहीं करने का, प्रोसेस फॉलो करने का. And that's how we have, there are voices which we ourselves drain down. So there are a lot of VOC which come from customers. There are a lot of VOC which comes from employees. How do we look at that? So when we look at VOC, we'll look, debate that also. So why technology required? I'll not get into too much. Again, it will become too much gnan. So, but I'm sure these are all things which you know. How do we bring in efficiency? How do we accessibility? Important personalization. That's where AI is working on. How do we keep on getting the more and more personalized experience with people? How do we do more and more data analysis so that we understand the customer better? And finally, why we do? Obviously, it helps us to do a lot of cost saving, because where do you bring in efficiency on the whole thing? Why customers? Why VOC is required? Because we need to understand his needs. A lot of time we end up giving what he does not need also. I'll give you a classic example. So when I get a broadband in the customer's place, then I have a router which I give to him. So a router has also a device which is attached. Or say for an example, I give a cable TV to a customer. Now cable TV customer जिसको customer दे रहा है, वो already cable TV का एक customer है, या तो he is already watching Tata Sky or anything. But my kit also has an HDMI cable. Why? ये customer के पास HDMI नहीं था, वो पहले नहीं दिखता था, पर वो सवाल हमने कभी पूछा नहीं. Because it's a part of the standard kit. Now a customer called up saying that sir क्यों है जो waste जाता है आपका, आप 50 रुपया 50 rupees, 100 rupees you are spending behind it. Why do you want to spend it? And it's coming free from your end. You please give it to the customers who really want. And then we understood that we will give, when we go for a cable TV, whenever a customer asks for anything, we'll give free, we'll not charge. But it is not a part of the standard kit. Simple stuff, customer is talking to you. Right? Experience. So, a lot of people here, I don't need to talk about experience on it, so because there is more experience of customer experience here than all put together. Loyalty. And finally, again, which is what AI helps us to do, identifying trends. How is your customer behavior happening? Where is it taking you? Another part. Why do you require governance? A lot of industry here are regulated, and hence there is one level of governance surely required. Wherever there is a regulation which is governing you. Okay. How do you maintain? Because if you have governance, you will get consistency. If you don't govern, you will never get consistency on the ground. If you don't, now, say for an example, we were debating some AHT. Okay. But AHT is one KPI. Okay. Until unless you don't govern it. Why? I'm not saying that you regulate it. But if you don't govern it, you will not come to know that you have some boys who are very leisurely talking to the customer. And there is a queue at the back. And hence, we are not talking about AHT as a standardization, but at least it is good to govern. It is good to know, and please always know your, your set of people who stretch your KPIs to a longer level. Your outliers is the word which normally is used. And when you govern, you know your outliers. Okay. Obviously, when you do governance, you come to know where are your gaps, you further improve. And the last part is, it is very important for companies or organizations' reputation, because they know it's a governed organization. It's not, and we will talk to you, if a non-governed organization, where does it land up? Okay. Why people? Not important. I am sure everybody knows. How do we customer satisfaction, brand reputation, repeat business, and cost saving. So this is my last slide. Just try to put some inputs to that. If an organization is, if our 4 legs are given, whether it is governance, VOC, your team management and technology, if everything is fine, everything is working fine, then this is an effective organization. We can say it's an effective customer organization. The moment there is a governance issue, as we debated, what happens? It's chaotic. गवर्नेंस नहीं है, कौन लड़का, अगर एक कस्टमर चिल्लाना चालू होगा, टीम लीडर भी बोलेगा अब मैं बात करता है. नहीं भाई तेरे को नहीं, if there is an escalation, it will happen. Because your call center head will say, I will please escalate it. You need a set of governance in place that there is a method of escalation. Everybody can't start talking to everybody, right? If governance and everything is placed, VOC is not there. Imagine, it's very internal focused. मेरे को क्या चाहिए? It's more, I would say these organizations are more finance driven organizations, you know, and we need to be very careful when we see this kind of organization. Obviously आप पूछोगे कि इसमें दो नहीं हो उसका क्या होगा, उसका जवाब नहीं है मेरे पास, है ना, पर एक का जवाब है. If there is a guy where it is organization which has team issues, you know, teams are not there, and it is very low on trust. बहुत churn हो रहा है, लोग जा रहे हैं. It's an organization where if the employees don't stay with you, how do you expect customers to stay? It will not happen. So please be very clear. If your department is having a high churn of people, immediate warning, there is something wrong. And you can relate high churn organizations, high manpower churn, internal manpower churn organization will have high external churn also. Very correlated factor. And the last part, if somebody has everything but does not work on technology, obviously it is very unproductive, है ना. आप आदमी लेते जाओगे, हर एक काम ऐड होता जाएगा, उसके लिए आप आदमी से सफाई करोगे. Very unproductive, high cost, right? So there are two people whom I follow, and I have picked up some quotes for them. I love the Steve Jobs quote. They get closer than ever to your customers, so close that you can tell what they need before they realize it themselves. That's an epitome of customer service. If anybody is able to reach to this level, then it is nirvana in customer service. But that's what he has written. Important for all of us. So thank you very much. This is the time I had open to questions. So either I was too good or probably too bad. Yeah, please.
In the beginning of the presentation, you mentioned that it's not like there was a quote that, I mean, you were trying to explain that do not be so giving to the customer when you're like, don't listen to all the needs that they're telling.
No, I said don't think of delighting them.
Yeah, don't think of delighting them.
Because delight is a difficult epitome to reach.
Yes. But if we look at the, the way the entire future or the entire way things are going on, doesn't it actually reflect that if you don't listen to them or if you don't delight them, let's not put the word delight into a little contextual way.
Because my context was delight only.
Okay, so if you don't delight them, you're going to lose them. You're going to churn them out of your system
altogether. My point of view is very good. You be consistent in what you deliver. That's it. Don't try to do something extra, and that time sometimes it may work for you. But then the customer's expectation goes. It's the first time only that he gets delighted. Next time he's expecting you to do it again. If you can't do it, don't do it.
But then how do you find that sweet spot?
It's something, if something you are going out of your, let's say for an example, let me tell you, and this is again an example of Indigo, again I would say. I was traveling in Indigo, unfortunately, at that point of time, garam pani se chai aur wo sab dete the air hostess spilled it over me. And it was hot water and my shirt got completely screwed. By the time I landed in Ahmedabad, there was a fresh piece of shirt lying for me, and a branded one, much better than I was wearing. So I was delighted. Okay. Next time it happened, they didn't do it. Now, should I do that or not is a question which you should ask. So I don't know, because that sweet spot is that every organization will know itself that this is the level which I can do it consistently. If yes, then do it. Or else don't do it, please.
Next interview.
That's my... sorry, ma'am.
You just spoke about governance, right? So generally, people who generally sit at a strategic level, we lay out things on a governance so that we have an eye to what's actually happening.
That's correct.
Understand what's happening. But when it actually starts why is this AHT so much? Why can't we be so much? Or whatever. We kind of have an but where do we kind of stop it that it doesn't become strangulating as it percolates down? Like for example, if tomorrow you ask my AHT is 13 minutes, why can't it be 10 minutes? Where by the time it actually reaches down, it goes to a fact that sir wants it in 10 minutes. Whatever it is, it has to be 10.
I know, I understand what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
how do we kind of, we are not forcing them to be 10 minutes.
Huh.
The question is that, is there some
But your soldiers are feeling that it has to be 10 minutes now.
10 minutes, rather the soldiers, the commanders over it, have already taken it and the senior boss needs it.
I want to make him happy.
Yes.
कुछ करना है, appraisal अच्छा होएगा.
So how, as a senior, we kind of give them the understanding that this is a wishful thing, but it is not a...
I understand. So there's a very, very difficult thing to do. Let me honestly tell, the larger the organization, the more difficult it is. Okay, but good part now is that because our teams are largely data savvy, you have a direct access to them, probably one way, if at all. Use that as a medium to explain what you are wanting to say. Don't leave it on your commanders to give it down the line, because they will interpret and there will be a Chinese whisper which will happen. And hence important that you have a channel open directly with your team to communicate your thoughts. That's the only way I have seen it working for me.
Thank you.
Haan ji, haan ji.
There are questions?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so I have one question. How do you deal with miscreants who are more into, they will raise complaints just to get some freebies or discounts, and it's a repeated behavior, it's not once. How do you, what in your experience and opinion?
So I have a telecom experience of that, because normally cable TV broadband में ऐसा होता नहीं है ना? Normally I can, in broadband a customer says मेरा 2 दिन नहीं चल रहा था, मेरे system में दिख रहा है 2 दिन नहीं चल रहा था, I can give him an extension of 2 days, probably a goodwill of 1 more day, saying that if okay, है ना? But cable TV and other things, normally the customer is not. But telecom, yes, because there used to be value-added services the guy used to look at. So there are norms which you had to put in after a period of time, that this guy is an habitual offender, and probably, and they are, as you say, if you have a strong CRM, then you can trigger it out in the CRM itself. So when the agent is speaking to them, or your front-end guy is speaking to him, he is able to, categorize this customer, saying that he is not somebody, he will try to push for some freebies. Normally, I have seen in 10 out of 8 cases, if the customer pushes, you will have to relent. But sometimes you will have to be a little strong and tell to the customer, saying that, okay, let's negotiate. It can't be what you want. This is the max I can give based on the sufferings that you had gone through. And then you put up a stop to that. That's how telecom normally, as of now, works.
So typically in Amazon and all, they look at this, right? Some people have a behavior that you take and
then give it back. And
so if there is a increased count, then they have a mechanism by which they address it.
They have created an algorithm for that. I have not experienced, because I have not. So I really don't know how it works. And but I'm sure I have had friends who would say कि 2 दिन जूता पहनने के लिए जरा मंगवा तो लेते. So I've seen people do that, or they would get some jacket. So there are people who misuse this, but I'm sure there is a way of tagging them off. Yeah. So thank you for your time.